Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode number 7 of Damage 365 Radio. I am your host, Coach Kev, along with the real number 8 JT, who's in the house.
Ready for Macho Madness.
Today's show, as promised and advertised through Facebook and Twitter, we will have a show strictly focused on the career and the life and the wonderful person that he is and was, the Macho Man, Randy Savage, who, as of tomorrow, will have left us way too early, a 2-year anniversary tomorrow, and a lot of things that will be going on our show, as well as on our Facebook page and on a Facebook page that I contribute to, facebook.com/TeamMadness1. Tomorrow will be our official Macho Man Randy Savage Day, and it was pretty much Macho Man Randy Savage month. And next week we'll have our Memorial Day show. Very fitting that it's the last show of the that we'll be covering Macho Man Randy Savage, being on Memorial Day weekend, as that's the weekend that we think back and remember all the heroes that have left us and gave their life to contribute to our freedom. And you know, it's very fitting that we celebrate the last weekend of the month to Macho Man Randy Savage. You know, a little of a somber moment, but you know, that's what we do here. We just cherish the career of people that have done so much. And as we get into that, we want to jump right into Damage Athletics softball. You know, as it has been all season, our up and down season continues.
The roller coaster.
The roller coaster of Damage softball. We had a mighty low this week to, you know, cancel our high from 2 weeks ago, as Damage Athletics softball dropped a doubleheader this week after a valiant comeback in Game 1, closing the game within 1 run after being down pretty much 7 runs the entire game. We went on to lose 12-9 to Platinum Mortgage, and Game 2, Platinum Mortgage had a walk-off victory as they completed the sweep with a 6-5 win over Damage Athletics. Not much we really want to go into detail. It wasn't a great weekend of softball. At least the weather cooperated a little bit, but
it's in the past and we move forward.
Yep, it's in the books. Nothing we can do about it, you know, unless anybody's got a DeLorean in their driveway that I don't know about, that I can go back and, you know, eliminate some of those mistakes that we made. But
that'd be awesome.
Right. So we move on. Next week, Memorial Day weekend, we have no softball. So, like I said, next week's show, we don't even have Damage softball to talk about. And you know, whatever it is. I mean, it's softball. I mean, whatever. We're in bigger and better things right now with this program. To be, you know, whining and crying about how we did at softball this week, as we roll on to our first Macho Man promo. As we look back and celebrate the career of Macho Man Randy Savage.
Something right now, talking about the greatest intercontinental champion that ever lived, the honky-tonk man is out of line. Yeah, because I am the greatest intercontinental heavyweight champion that ever lived, and I'm the greatest professional wrestler that ever lived, and I'm living now. Yeah, right now.
You know, he makes no bones about making the proclamation that he is, I'm talking about the honky-tonk man, the greatest intercontinental champion of all time.
He says I can't sing and I can't dance, but I can make romance. Yeah, right there, the fork in the road. I said go right. Elizabeth said go left. I went right. And then I understand what the situation was. I went over that one bridge, yeah. And then when I crossed that bridge, I found out that I was on the right side. And I said, Elizabeth, follow me, yeah, because I'm going straight to the top. The stars, yeah, the stars. One shining star in the night, shining brighter than all the other ones. And I'm talking light years away, yeah.
You're talking Macho Madness.
Macho Madness, yeah. Macho Madness rolling, yeah. You thought so, but I know so. And Macho Madness is coming straight at you, honky-tonk man. And I like, yeah, because I'm on a roll and I ain't stopping, yeah. Elizabeth, go right and I'm going left.
Can I ask a question, Macho Man?
No more questions.
I'm sorry about that. Macho Man Randy Savage.
Another great promo by Gene Okerlund and Macho Man Randy Savage.
No more questions.
No more questions. And
he's had it up to here with that.
He's had it up to here with Honky Tonk Man praising about himself, how he's the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time.
Really put him in his place.
Oh, man. His promos, it didn't matter what it was for. He could just have a general conversation with somebody, and he always made it extremely interesting conversation. As always, at 6:15, Nancy will be calling in. Today, she's going to be calling in with her favorite Macho Madness moments as we celebrate the career of Macho Man Randy Savage entirely today on the entire show. We'll hit up Extreme Rules very briefly as that pay-per-view airs tonight. Not one of my favorite pay-per-views, and according to WWE ratings, it's actually, out of the 12 pay-per-views, it's ranked number 10 in most viewed pay-per-views. So yeah, I don't see that improving much. The card is pretty boring, and there's a couple show matches I'll be looking forward to, but it's not going to be Rock Ryback. Not Rock Ryback. Cena Ryback. It's more of the Team Hell No versus the two members of the Shield, and the United States Championship match, Dean Ambrose of Shield versus Kofi Kingston, the champion, where we could actually see a United States-born wrestler win the United States Championship.
It's like those guys are coming in and taking over.
I think they will. I think they're going to take the tag team titles and the United States Championship. So
they'll get to walk with the gold.
They'll get to walk with the gold. I mean, they are right now. They're
They're cleaning house.
They're I forgot what they called them, but besides the Shield, but they want justice. They want justice. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. Okay. As advertised on our Facebook page, we are running a 64-man Intercontinental Championship tournament. All 64 wrestlers have been entered into our bracket, and we will pick the numbers and the names and see who's facing who in round one of the 64. We thank everybody for your Twitter and Facebook contributions, as well as the contributions given to us by our wrestling analyst Nancy. It's a great bracket. I mean, from Pat Patterson to Hercules to the Texas Tornado to Triple H to China, all the way down to Chris Jericho and The Miz, and even current day wrestlers now. And we even got 3 or 4 members from TNA that are on our list, as well as El Generico, I think that's his name, who's wrestling in NXT right now. And we got some good contributions, so we'll see where that takes us.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, it should be pretty fun. I mean, it's gonna be all computer generated, so people don't get all angry with us when
we hope it's accurate.
Well, the computer's gonna do it. It's not much we can do it, but I don't know. Since we got a little extra time, since we didn't really have any damaged software to talk about, we're gonna go right into another promo, and we should come out of that promo and get right to Nancy. So enjoy this promo. This was actually one of the more recent promos where Macho Man Randy Savage was promoting his CD, which wasn't very good, but
check it out anyway.
The promo was pretty cool, so check it out. Listen up.
That way.
The Rock.
The Rock, a cool dude because of the fact that when he comes into the dressing room, he shakes everybody's hand, looks everybody in the eye. He doesn't stir it up in the dressing room. A lot of those guys that are wrestling, when you're tuning it in, you got to realize that they travel all around the world. They're away from their families. They're taking high-risk moves trying to entertain their wrestling fans. But The Rock and The Undertaker are 2 generals in the locker room. When you're a lead dog, dude, you have a responsibility not to stir it up, not to cause turmoil that's not there. But you, Hulk Hogan, what you do is that you thrive on it. You know what I mean? So I believe in karma, and karma comes back on you, and payback is hell. You know the deal, mofo.
Well, as you can see, even later in his career, Macho Man Randy Savage still did not get along or like Terry Bollea, a.k.a. Hulk Hogan, too much. And, many stories have gone around on YouTube and the internet about, how Hogan contributed to the downfall of him and Elizabeth's marriage. Even Ultimate Warrior did a video saying that Linda McMahon used to drag Elizabeth out of the house while Savage and Hogan were on the road, and used to infuriate Savage, and that contributed to some of their problems. Macho Man Randy Savage was a very protective person. Everybody knew that. He protected Elizabeth. He put her in a bubble, and anybody went near her, or talked to her, or looked at her, it was usually him snarling or something.
He was snapping a Slim Jim.
Yeah, or he's snapping someone's neck first, and then he went into the Slim Jim. Actually, next week we're gonna do one of his Slim Jim promos for the show. So.
I bet sales are down on Slim Jim now that he's not doing commercials. So.
Yeah,
the best things I've ever seen.
Disgusting. Yeah. Okay, since we got a couple seconds, we got a minute 13 promo, a real old one back from 1986. Check this one out.
It gives me great pleasure to have right here in my body shop the new Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, Randy Macho Man Savage. I love it, Randy.
Oh, baby, Jesse the Body Ventura. Everybody welcome the new Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion of the world. And this is real bad news for Hulk Hogan, yeah, because this is my passport to the world title. And Tito Santana, too bad, baby.
You know, Macho, let's let him in on the plan. We knew that if it wouldn't be you, it would be me. One of us was going to tack Tito to the wall. Macho Man, I'm so happy and so proud for you. We finally got a champion that all the kids can look up to.
Yeah, absolutely total control right there. Watch this. Yeah. Elizabeth, stare into the video scope right now and tell them who the new Intercontinental Champion of the world is.
Oh, well, you are Macho Man.
Oh, yeah.
See, that was 1986, and he still didn't like Hogan. I see a trend. Okay, so we're waiting on Nancy to give us a call in. She can give us a call in anytime she wants because she's the princess of the squared circle, and she can do stuff like that because she's got mad skills.
That's right.
So, Nancy, if you're listening, and I know you are, give us a ring, which gets you on the air so we can hear your favorite Macho Man moments. Because I'm very curious to know what yours are. Since you're a little younger than me, you got more of the little modern aspect of his career and what you enjoyed from the Macho Man Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth, maybe sensational Queen Sherry, any of those eras, or even when he was walking around with Team Madness with Medusa Maselli and all those people. So let's see what. Let's see what Nancy has to say today.
Would we love to?
Nancy, welcome to the show.
Hello.
How you doing today?
Happy Sunday.
Happy Fun Day Sunday. So, we are very curious to know your favorite moments of the Macho Man Randy Savage.
Actually, I was so excited when you said that you were actually going to do a Macho Man tribute show. I know that we've been talking over the years about Macho Man, and we randomly text each other Macho Man stuff and your shadow box and everything you're working on.
Yep.
And I was so excited that you were doing a Macho Man tribute show.
Well, you know me. I mean, it's Macho Man Randy Savage was a big part of my childhood, not only as a wrestler, but I had the pleasure of bumping into him on numerous occasions, having a great conversation with him regarding baseball and hockey and wrestling, and him performing house matches all over Staten Island, whether it was Wagner High School, Wagner College. There was a couple in Tottenville High School back in the early 80s. And, my brother, who's about 8 years older than me, used to drag me around. and he very much got me into wrestling. I met so many, the old cool wrestlers, like Iron Sheik and Andre the Giant, which it's his birthday. Happy birthday, Andre the Giant. But Macho Man Randy Savage made an impression in my life. So when he passed, I pretty much a good portion of my childhood died with him.
Yeah, it's very sad. I think we all feel that way. I think we all remember where we were standing and what we were doing when we got the news.
Yeah, I can definitely say that. I mean, I said this on I think last week or the week before, that my mom actually called me at work and told me that Macho Man Randy Savage passed away. He got into a car accident, and I had to make a couple phone calls to confirm that, and then as soon as I was able to, I ran to a TV to get the news, and I think it was TMZ who broke the news, not ESPN.
Right.
Not ESPN. They all claim they did it.
What a shock.
Breaking news, we're whores. But,
I think we all kind of hope that it was false, just because it was TMZ and they always break the news that somebody died.
Yep.
And sometimes they're wrong, but however, when Michael Jackson died, they were right. They were the first ones to break it. And that was it was very upsetting to know about Macho Man. I remember I was with my best friend Melanie. Melanie was here, and I was having birds extracted from my house, and we were asking the exterminators if they knew who Macho Man was, because he had passed away, and they didn't speak English, so they didn't even understand Macho Man.
But they probably would have knew who Rey Mysterio was.
Probably. A few of them did look like Rey Mysterio.
It probably was. Wasn't he hurt that year?
No, maybe. Maybe. It might have been, Rey Mysterio took birds out of my house.
There you go. See, this is what now we know, ladies and gentlemen, what Rey Mysterio does when he's on the disabled list.
Right.
He goes to random fans' house and he gets rid of birds.
The exterminator.
He's the Birdman.
Birdman. Starting rumors.
No, not me. Never. We are absolutely politically correct here at Damage 365 Radio.
Yes,
we never start rumors. We never report anything to agitate people, except if you want a really good laugh, go to the Iron Sheik's Twitter page and see what he said about Andre the Giant. That was hilarious.
So ridiculous.
That was hilarious. But anyway, go ahead, Nancy, keep going.
All right, so my favorite Macho Man moment, there's just so many, and I had to really cut it down and, really have to think about what had an impression on me as a child. I had to really, really think about it. I think one of my favorite moments was, first of all, the Macho Man Tito Santana promo. The ultimate, everyone remembers it when he called him garbage.
Yeah.
And a grain of sand and the Macho Man Sahara and all that fun stuff. And Macho Man was so notorious for holding on to props while he was being interviewed, whether it was a little teacup or, a garbage can, talking about champagne, all this kind of stuff. And it was just, there was hilarity in it. And honestly, he was what brought electricity to wrestling.
He did. He brought a total different side to the microphone that wrestling was missing. I mean, Hogan was pretty much the only guy who worked the mic during that era, and WWF's era. And then when Macho Man came in, and he was especially, right down to the day where he announced who his manager was, he worked the mic for a good 5-6 minutes before he even introduced his manager, and had everybody hanging on to every word he said, and at the end of their seats waiting to see what he was going to say.
He was just absolutely amazing, and that was in October of '85. So I was 1, and I didn't even know what the heck was going on. My dad used to watch it, but, Macho Man was, iconic to my childhood. I'm 28 years old, and you got to imagine his prime was when I was just basically learning how to spell my own name. And that is, I see him, I think of my childhood, I think of, being a little bit shorter than I am now.
No, I totally agree. Yeah, I was there live at Madison Square Garden when Macho Man Randy Savage, he was the Macho King at the time, and
Macho King.
Yes, it was the return match against Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and it was the main event. in a house show at Madison Square Garden, where on the card as well, the Ultimate Warrior was the champ, and he was fighting Andre the Giant, and Macho Man was the main event.
Really?
Right. Andre the Giant lost that match in 13 seconds. Ultimate Warrior came down, gave him 3 clotheslines, splashed him, and pinned him, and then ran out of the ring just as quick.
Champion.
Yeah. So the Macho Man Randy Savage match was the main event. It wasn't advertised as the main event. People were starting to get up out of their seats, and then all of a sudden Hacksaw Jim Duggan's music hit, and everybody sat down.
Yeah, well, I know that you mentioned the Ultimate Warrior. Another one of my favorite moments was Macho Man versus Ultimate Warrior for SummerSlam '92 for the title, WWF title. And they were doing a promo, Mr. Perfect and Ric Flair came out. And, it actually at SummerSlam, Macho Man lost because of a count-out because of Perfect and Flair.
Right.
But he retained the belt. So, they had some showmanship after the match, which, was kind of unheard now, that Warrior actually helped Macho Man out of the ring holding his belt for him.
Right.
They don't really do stuff like that anymore, and if they do, it's like all half-hearted. But the promos leading up to that were absolutely electrifying, just because there's 2 bold characters. Macho Man is great with his promos. There's no denying that. Love or hate Macho Man, his promos are untouchable.
Absolutely. And the Ultimate Warrior's promos were understandable.
Well, that too, but, you take those 2 characters, and it's just an explosion. And it's absolutely... Mean Gene looked like he was getting nervous. Poor Mean Gene's always spit on because these wrestlers spit when they speak. But, you saw him kind of cowering back with the microphone, trying to hold the microphone between them and, trying to stand back a little bit. That was a great promo, and actually it was a really great match, too. Mean Gene and Macho Man Randy Savage had a very, very good rapport together when they did interviews. There was a couple times where I think Randy Savage forgot his line, and he would just say something random, and Mean Gene would pick up for him, knowing that he screwed up his line, and the 2 of them worked very well together. And I just watched a couple of YouTube videos, which I think I might play one next week, where YouTube speaks of the Macho Man Randy Savage, and he just, he said other than the fact that he was very possessive of Elizabeth, and that's pretty much the only negative thing people will ever say about him, that he was a great guy to work with. He was an absolute professional. He made everyone look so good,
yeah.
Because, Ultimate Warrior used to actually hurt people, not to speak ill of him. So Macho Man made him shine, and he used to do that so much for so many different wrestlers.
Well, I remember another interview with Mr. Perfect, and he even said, there was nights where the 2 of them would fight at house shows that weren't even televised. And it'd be nights where, say, Kurt was hurt. He was hurting. And Macho Man would carry him in the match to make it, that nobody would even know that, Kurt had a pulled hamstring. And Macho Man just carried him and made him look that good.
Yeah, he was amazing. Definitely one of my favorites. Definitely one of my top 5 wrestlers and personalities of all time. And that's important because I could name wrestlers right now that I either love their personality, their gimmick, or I love them for their wrestling techniques. And he actually had both.
Yes, I agree.
Undeniably.
Absolutely. I can't disagree with that. He was an absolutely a professional, and he was just, he just wanted to be perfect at everything that he did for the fans.
He was.
Yep. So, you got any closing remarks coming with tonight's Extreme Rules?
I'll give some quick shout-outs. My friend Ashley Rosenberg, Alex Edwards, Vicky Puglia, and of course Melanie Casetta. Extreme Rules of tonight, I am eating pretzels while I watch it. Hoping that Ryback wins against Cena, but I doubt that will happen. I don't think that they think he's ready.
Just look forward to Monday night.
Yeah, so they can do it again.
Right, exactly, so they can do it again.
Next verse, same as the first.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting lineup. I'm kind of looking forward to it. You know, Jericho, Fandango, a lot of, there's an Extreme Rules match, an I Quit match. It almost feels like they're going back to the original roots of Extreme Rules, but we'll see.
Yeah, but if they're still using paper-thin aluminum garbage pails and baking trays that they call garbage pail covers, look, nobody's stupid. Everybody knows that they're props. Nobody's going to sit there and go, "Wow, what a convenient spot for a ladder right under the ring."
Wait a minute, wrestling's not real?
Oh my God, no, maybe.
Well, speaking of, tonight was actually in Madison Square Garden. I don't know if you know, it was the curtain call.
Yes, it's the anniversary of
17 years ago.
The infamous throw dirt on Triple H curtain call. I do remember that. Jonathan's probably not familiar with that. After WWE executives caught wind that Hall and Nash were leaving WWE for WCW, after a match where the four of them fought each other, Triple H, Michaels, Hall, and Nash, they all came together after the match and they did like and X-Pac, they all did a whole group hug, which pissed off Vince McMahon.
X-Pac actually was not involved because he wasn't booked.
He wasn't booked, but...
They talking about that this morning.
Yeah. But so I think somebody did list that he was involved in that whole, collusion, the collusion behind McMahon's back.
And this was 17 years ago.
Yeah. Was it 17 years ago?
Yeah, 17 years
17 years ago.
I'm trying to wonder, where the hell was I?
Yeah. And
I was,
Hall and Nash
in
left.
my in speedy pajamas.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, probably.
And I still am.
you were probably wearing them too. You probably had your whole...
I am wearing them right now. I actually tweeted a picture of it last night.
Jonathan's wearing his Hulk pajamas.
That's right.
But Hall and Nash left for WCW. They weren't going to penalize Michaels because he was the champion, so they just buried Triple H.
Really?
Buried him. He fought absolutely nobody in garbage matches. And then now look at him. Now he's the COO. And
found a good woman, Triple H.
Yes.
Good woman.
The
Knew what he was doing.
The $1 Million Princess.
That's the brains of the operation right there.
So, all right, Nancy, we're going to close out your call with you.
Okay.
And we will speak to you next week. We are going to be doing our show on Saturday next week.
Okay.
Because Sunday I am having a big Memorial Day shindig. And
oh, crap. I didn't even know it was Memorial Day.
Yeah, and I don't want all the yelling and screaming in the background to interfere with the telecast. So we will do a Saturday, probably 6 o'clock, but I'll get back to you and let you know more information.
Sounds good.
And thank you for calling as always, and we'll talk to you soon.
Very good. Thank
Always
you.
a pleasure.
Bye, Nancy.
Bye.
That was Nancy, our wrestling analyst here at Damage 365 Radio, calling in with her Macho Madness moments as we get ready to close out another show, episode 7. I just feel like these shows are going by way too quick now.
Way too quick.
For the future of Damage 365 Radio, we're growing slowly but surely. Our audience is growing slowly but surely. Our followers are increasing. Our live listeners are increasing. We might be looking to invest to extend our broadcast time to 45 minutes per week. That's a little bit down the road, and hopefully somewhere down the road we maybe get into an hour where we can start talking about some local sports and things along that nature. Hopefully, I'd say hopefully before the World Series we can start doing stuff like that.
God, please.
I mean, I love wrestling. I know everybody out there that listens to us loves wrestling, but sometimes we gotta talk about other stuff. Just because.
Like I want a Macho Man hat.
God.
Please, somebody.
Damage softball. No softball games next week as advertised. The following week, 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock at Wagner College versus James Verruccio's Ballbusters. Everybody, Extreme Rules tonight. Enjoy. We're going to leave you off with a sound clip that you'll all enjoy. We're going to be like a tree, and we're going to leave.
Oh, yeah. Remember, kid, there's heroes and there's legends. Heroes get remembered, but legends never die.
Yeah, and we had even a little audience participation, yeah, because I'm wild, yeah. And I'm going to tell you something, Hulk Hogan. I heard what you said about me a few days ago, yeah. And I don't think that you can separate business from friendship. I'm your friend, but if I ever see you in the ring, I can beat you, don't you know? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Randy Savage, I know
Your mustache is crooked.
Your beard is a little sideways, too, but I don't want to get into that.
That's
I'm not
all
going
right.
to take personal pot shots at you or anybody else. That's not my nature.
Get in line, everybody's
I'm a little
after
better
me.
guy than that. I don't mind telling you.
Cool.
I'm a bigger man.
Cool.
Well, how did we get into this?
That's okay, man.
Very curious.
I'm going to take Lex Luger because I know he's going to beat Ming because I'm going to make sure. Yeah. And